Yo, Mad Dog Killer Son, checking in with you again. You know what I'm saying? This is what I do. Wanted to hit y'all with a recap of Arsonal versus Mr. Fab. And I wanted to start this blog off a little bit different. First of all, subscribe. Join my Facebook group, Mad Battle Review. And also follow me on Twitter. Mad Dog Killer Son. Mad Dog Killer 077 on Twitter. Alright. So I wanted to give y'all a little perspective on what I think. Now, this is going to be like a recap, but I'm also going to talk to you battle rap fans, and I'm going to talk to the battle rappers. That's what this is really about. And first and foremost, I have to salute you, Arsonal. The gates were shaking. The gates were shaking. All right. I'm talking about the battle rap gates, the gatekeeper. It's like in the army when all the other soldiers are sleeping, you have a couple of gatekeepers, people that is on guard while you're sleeping. And not the same person is at the gate when trouble arrives. Right? It rotates, because even the gatekeeper needs to sleep at some point. So, at different times, like I think the person that has claimed the gatekeepers of the PGs was Swave 7. He was like, yo, I'm the gatekeeper keeping the PGs separated from the vets or the top tier dudes. And if you pass Swave 7, well, then we'll accept you in. You know what I'm saying? But if you can't pass him and you're in the PGs and you want to go on to other top tier dudes and you can't pass him, you ain't getting in. You don't get that pass. And Swave 7 is not no doormat. I respect Swave. I mean, sometimes he comes prepared, sometimes he doesn't come as prepared as I'd like, but he talked that shit. So this gatekeeping shit. Let's take a quick look back. We had a couple industry dudes. I'm only going to talk of the three. I think there's three, really. So far, industry versus battle rap, right? You have Diz versus Cannabis. You have Diz versus Cassidy. And then you have Mr. Fab versus Arsonal. Now, Diz was on guard. He was the gatekeeper against Cannabis, who, if anybody knows, Cannabis was one of the dopest underground. He was always an underground dude, rapper out of New York City. And a lot of rappers in the industry didn't really want Cannabis on a track with them, because his bars was so ahead of his time. His bars were so aggressive, and he had so many metaphors, and everybody in the street, this guy got practically no radio play, and everybody in the street was feeling Cannabis. He finally broke through with a little beef with, I think it was 4321 with LL, and there was the, let me borrow that mic from your arm, and LL killed him. And then he came back with Mama Said Knock You Out, and we all know LL definitely was into that battle type of thing on wax. He was an MC that battled on wax a lot. So hearing Cannabis coming back to battling, we thinking, okay, this dude had crazy bars. Let's see what he do against this. And I have to admit, that battle, it was almost like if Diz smelt blood in the water, and he just went in. He destroyed Cannabis, and Cannabis pulled out the notepad, like we all know. My nigga pulled out a notepad. My nigga. My nigga. Come on. All right. Now, when people battle rap, you gotta have like a checklist. Like, no notepad, check. No cell phone reading in the middle year round, check. You know, there's things you just cannot do in battle rap. So, Diz, salute to you. You held the gate down. Then Cassidy. Now your name was popping. Lush won, out in the Fresh Coast, whatever. You got this billionaire guy backing him up, whatever. And they come up with this crazy number to give Cassidy. Whatever the number is, it's not going to be seen again. All right? You're not going to get $250,000 to battle in a parking garage again. All right? And on the big stage, the battle didn't look good. It didn't look like it was going to be good, and there was just a lot of hoopla behind it. So, Diz, you did not hold the gate down that day. I'm going to keep it a stack. Did not hold the gate down that day. I blogged about it. I have some really good blogs about that. You know, if you guys subscribe, you haven't checked it out, check out my blogs on Diz. I think I did 2 on Diz versus Cassidy. Disappointed. And you kind of wedged a crack in the battle rap community, which I believe the battle rap fans is probably the most intellectual and articulate hip-hop fans. You hear what I'm saying? The most intellectual and articulate hip-hop fans. Because there's no beat, right? There's nothing to like, oh yeah, here's wait for this beat, here wait for this break, wait for this hook. Oh, he'll check this hook out. Oh yeah, this is where they go crazy in the club. There's none of that in battle rap. None. Right? Battle rap is about your lyrical ability, your emceeing ability, your charisma, your performance, your aggression, your wordplay. Everything is on you. There's no DJ. You don't see a battle rapper say in the middle, yo, check my DJ out. Oh, let's get the DJ on the break. You know. And the other thing that's incredibly tough for a battle rapper, most battle rappers, is the crowd does not know what your bars is gonna end with. They don't know what you're gonna say. Now I say most because some of the top tier dudes, some of the really good battle rappers have slogans, they have phrases, they have things that sort of go together, and the battle rap community clings to that. And I'll get back to that with Arsonal and his bars and phrase. So the Cassidy Diz battle, just disappointing. And you created this crack now where the industry feels now they could feed off of the battle rap culture. And we've seen that there's been celebrity battles set up with celebrity on celebrity, whether it was Bone Crusher versus Mike Jones or Fredro Starr versus Keith Murray. What happened with those battles? Anybody know? I know. It never popped. Nobody showed up. Nobody cares. So these, if you think about it, if you really think about it, the celebrity of mainstream rappers cannot generate a crowd or a finance base without you top tier dudes. You know, if you guys just sit there and peep game, they really can't make the money without you guys. So why y'all accepting battles where they're walking away with the person, and niggas that show up for the event, niggas that are battle rapping that day, can't even get paid? I mean, Lush can't even pay dudes. You supposedly got a billionaire nigga backing you up, and you can't even pay dudes because you're giving Cassidy all the money. Then, you know, from what I'm hearing, dipping a little bit into my recap here, Mr. Fab had to give B Magic and he had to give B Magic and Pass some money out of his purse, and they didn't even get to perform. There was him and another battle rap thing didn't even get to perform. So I don't know who's managing these battle rappers. I know some of these leagues is so thirsty to get these sought after battles, but we got to do it the right way. We got to do it constructive. We got to do it where it makes sense. We got to see if the celebrity of these rappers, these industry rappers, is relevant in the battle rap world. Yeah, you have a celebrity, you have a following in your hip hop respect, but when you go to the battle rap world, a lot of your hip hop fan base is not following you there. So how do you get to demand this kind of money? There's only a few industry dudes that's really popping right now that could command a tremendous amount of money to battle. And that's to battle anybody. Battle another hip hop artist or to battle a mainstream or top tier dude. And I'm gonna say Jay-Z, 50, and Meek. These guys got incredible followings. They got incredible wordplay, and they have a way of generating fan interest. You notice what I'm saying? These people are huge brands to hip hop, and they generate a large fan base that want to, oh, you know what? Jay is doing this. M is doing this. These are people that have performed around the world, so their fan base is huge. So now, I say all of that, get into this Mr. Fab battle. I had a prediction. I did a prediction blog a week before the battle, and I said, you know, after I watched interviews with Mr. Fab, Arsonal really didn't do a whole lot of interviews. I saw one of his, but Mr. Fab salute to Mr. Fab. He bigged this battle up where he had interest. He wanted to see what happened. And I said Arsonal was going 3-0. And that was after Mr. Fab. I seen him freestyle on Sway. I seen him talk his shit. And he's talented. He's a talented freestyle guy. He's a talented rapper. And from what I'm hearing, he's a ghostwriter or one of the better ghostwriters out there. I believe it. The guy could spit. He got bars. I'm sure he can write. But what he was talking about and what he was getting into was two different things. And he was talking about writing bars, out-barring us. And us, we already know, and I said it in the blog, very aggressive and the disrespect. And it's a battle. It's a fight. It's not who is the sweetest writer, who's the nicest. That's a check mark. Bars, check mark. All right? Wordplay, check mark. But you also have aggression, check mark. You also have stage performance, check mark. You also have multis, check mark. You also have schemes, check mark. You also have the stage presence. And all of these things has to be encompassed in your game. Believability. Believability in what you're saying, believability as a battle rapper. So, I happened to see the battle. I didn't go out to the Bay Area. I didn't go out to Oakland. I happened to see the battle on however they released it. That's why I get salute URL. Salute to URL, because they make sure you don't record their footage and it's not put out before they're ready to put it out. And they don't put out garbage. They don't put out a quality battle like however. So this battle was like from a long distance away. The visual wasn't as good as I'd like. Audio was pretty good, decent enough. And I looked at my prediction blog, and after the battle drop, I didn't really see it right away, but they were going to my prediction blog and they were saying, oh yeah, Mr. Fab won. Mr. Fab killed Ars. Ars didn't have a chance. 2-1. Guys is blogging saying, yeah, you know, Ars messed up. Ars wasn't ready for him. So I'm like, oh shoot. Ars didn't hold the gate down. Ars was on guard, being the gatekeeper, and he fumbled. So I reached out to a well-respected blogger, and I was like, yo, I'm hearing Arsonal lost. What's good? And he was like, no. And I'm like, what do you mean, no? He was like, nah, Arsonal didn't lose. And I'm like, what? I said, but I'm hearing these bloggers. I said, you know what? I'll just wait for the footage to drop. He's like, this word. So then, later on that night, Mr. Fab is being interviewed, and he's saying that he won, and he came back after 9 years and how respectable it was. And all you hear is like, oh, okay, cool. You know, I got to review the tape. I got to take a look at it again. But honestly, we know, you know, we don't need to look at the tape again. And we know what really happened. What really happened was Arsonal went into a hostile environment. Kinda dolo. I think he had Ray Swag just behind him. And this guy, Mr. Fab, had all these industry dudes behind E40, Too Short. He had a whole crew, and he had all these people in the crowd. And I keep it real. If you lose, you lose. Straight up. I don't have no obligations to nobody. If you lose, you lose, and I'm going to say it. Like, Diz got his ass handed to him by Cass. I didn't think Cass bars was crazy, but Cass beat him. And Cass had the aggression. He had these, you know, you know, he was manipulating, he was emceeing the crowd and all of that in the small room. The big room was a little fugazi. But anyway, so I'm looking at the battle, and I have a little bit of biasness because I would normally lean towards my battle rapper versus an industry dude, but I heard so much stuff that Arsonal got killed. But then I heard that there was a lot of crowd manipulation. So I'm like, all right, let me see how Mr. Fab did him. That's how I'm watching the video. Let me see how Mr. Fab did him. And Arsonal goes first. And Arsonal's first round with Mr. Fab was unbelievable. It was unbelievably disrespectful. His first round was probably the most disrespectful first round I've heard in any battle I've watched. And I've watched a lot of battles, and I've watched a lot of Arsonal battles. This first round was it hurt. I kept looking like Arsonal must have a couple dudes with him with like Tech 9s on them. They must have snuck that into the venue, and he must have like dudes strapped up ready to go. Cause I don't know how he gonna walk out of here. Real talk, battle rap or not. I know he asked. Mr. Fab said that Arsonal did call him and asked him, look, homie, is there anything that I can't say? Is it something that you got a problem with? You know, what is my limitations here? Because I don't want to, you know, have a problem if there's a. And Mr. Fab said, go ahead and go for what you know. Do what you do, homie. Like a check mark. Check mark. And you taught Arsonal the most disrespectful, Arsonal the rebel, aggression, and you was dissing him, so now you're taking it personal. And thank God he wrote for this nigga. Thank God he wrote for this nigga. And Arsonal did him. He did not step out of what Arsonal does. He actually did him like OD. Arsonal OD doing him, which was unbelievable. So after that, and I mean, I'm cringing. I'm feeling bad this first round, man. He's talking about He's talking about how Mr. Fab mother had AIDS. She was a hooker before that and sold drugs. He's talking about his pops was a pimp and pimped his mother out, and how his pops got sick and did some other shit, and how, you know, how he would go to his mother's funeral and smash his mother, and his daughter is fucked up, and he started talking about his daughter and putting his, it was just some shit that was like, yo, just time out, man. I need a time out, homie. You cannot, I know the game and I know battle rap, but this was like some extra shit. I swear, they needed a referee. They needed a referee to like blow a whistle or something. Anyway, it was crazy. That was crazy. So then, Mr. Fab goes, and I'm listening to him, and I'm like, he sounds like somebody. Then I'm looking at his motions, and the bars are all right. The bars ain't crazy. He's not crazy with the bars. I'm like, wait a minute. He's being aggressive, and he's being disrespectful. Who does that? Arsonal. So I'm like, I know, maybe he did like a Cassidy. I give Cassidy. Cassidy did Diz. He said he was going to do Diz, and he did Diz in the middle of a round, and then he went back into doing Cassidy. All right, Cassidy did Cassidy, and I respect him, salute him. You know, Cannabis did whatever he could do, but Cassidy did Cassidy, and he said, yo, I could do your style. Watch, it's easy, blah, 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 blah. And he did his style and fell back and went back and did Cassidy. When I'm watching Mr. Fab, I'm like, oh, doing Arsonal. I'm like, all right, let me put a check mark in the other lane. So then Arsonal goes in on the second round, more disrespect, more in your face, more aggression, more dope bars. Crowd not feeling them because Mr. Fab had family and a whole bunch of people in there, so anything Arsonal said at this point. First round, he got some oohs and ahs, but the second round, he was getting more like hate bars. And Arsonal, I don't know if he slipped up or he just paused a minute, but he didn't have no real choke I seen in the first two rounds. I didn't see no real choke. If there was a slowdown or he just like needed to get his composure for a second, maybe breathe, maybe one of those. But he was hyped up. He was hyped up. So the second round, Mr. Fab goes. And Mr. Fab starts sounding like a mix of Lux and Daylight. And I'm like, as I'm listening, I'm like, hold on, the hand motions and the pausing as he's rapping, that's Daylight. And then he was like trying to talk to him and rap like Lux. And it was like, this is some bullshit. I'm like, where's Mr. Fab at? Where's the bars? And he's gonna bar him, and how Arsonal's gonna have to really write some shit because he's a writer. I didn't see that. I didn't feel it. And then got at him the third round, and I didn't really feel Fab the third, and a 3-0. I wouldn't say it was a body bag, but it was a 3-0. I wouldn't say it was like a killer win. It was a decent win. And I would say that Mr. Fab, if he wants to really he needs to grind in this. He can't like have one foot halfway in and halfway out and think he's going to he threw out a couple of names and thought he was going to live off of that. You got to scheme a certain way. The thing I have the biggest problem with after this battle was done was the Fab fans obviously just blitzing the YouTube and any bloggers and saying, Mr. Fab did this and did that and blah, 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 blah. And we didn't really have too many not too many battle rap fans came right out and said anything. Now, maybe some of them didn't see it. A lot of people don't go to Oakland to see it. So it was up on YouTube for like, I want to say 24 hours, 36 hours. Maybe people was waiting for the weekend to really peep it. But I'm going to say this. we need to get out there and say what it really is quick and fast before public opinion is swayed into believing something that ain't true. And I'm going to tell you right now, Mr. Fab did not win that battle. Arsonal was the most disrespectful I've ever seen him. And a little tidbit or side note is these purses that is paid to some of these celebrity, like $30,000. Think about it. They paid Mr. Fab $30,000, and he had to give back like $10,000. He was nice enough to give back like $10,000 to Be Magic and Pass, and I think there was two other battle rappers that didn't get to perform, and he made sure they got paid. And I think he lent them the money on the strength of Lush, because Lush said he was going to pay him back. I'm sure Lush is going to pay him back because they both out in the West Coast. So I'm sure Mr. Fab could find out where he at. But these purses, we got to stop throwing out money and numbers at people and you're not recouping. That's you hustling ass backwards. Nobody, like if you was going to sell drugs, you're not going to buy $100 worth of drugs and resell it for $50. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna end up, by the end of the week, you're gonna have a problem. You're gonna have a problem like getting your re-up. All right, so you buy $100 worth of drugs, you want to sell it for like $200 or $300. Then buy another 200, sell that for $600, $700 or something. You want to try and double up. Always want to try and double up. Or, whatever you're doing, you want to make a profit. I mean, if you was a business, like, I don't know, any business, you want to have at least a 20 to 30% profit of your business, at least. Some businesses 50%, some business 10%, depending on how big the business is. But you want to have a profit, and these battle rap leagues, you're obviously not making a profit if you can't even pay your entertainers. So that's something that needs to be worked out, and I think URL understands the pay scheme and stuff, and they kind of fell back in 2014 a little bit, and maybe rightfully so. But that's the biggest stage. That's the most respected stage. That's where Smack has a way of getting people to come out. People come out for Smack. That's one of the differences of URL and a lot of these other leagues. Like, these other leagues come out for the battle rappers. They come out because the battle rappers is battling, right? But for a URL event, Smack's name was big before battle rap on the internet. So Smack could throw something and people come out for Smack. So Smack say, yo, I'm doing this. You're going there because Smack is doing it. Now you add Hitman, you add Goods, you add Lux, or you add Mook or whoever else, and now they have a brand and they have a fan base, and you have more people come out. But initially, you have to remember, Smack's name rings bells, and he can make people come out. Alright, and that's where some of these other industry dudes, I wouldn't say KOTD. KOTD is up there. Don't Flop is sort of up there. But outside of those, it's like when these little leagues have a battle, it's, alright, we coming out because Charlie Clips is battling. We coming out because, Hollow's battling over there. It's not so much about the league. Anyway, it's Mad Dog Killer Son. Subscribe, holler back at me. Tell me what y'all feel. If y'all feeling this industry push, throw that out there. I'm not really feeling it. I'm not feeling it. Something else gotta happen for me to start feeling this industry push into my culture, into battle rap. I'm protecting this shit. I'ma say it. I'ma say it if other people that got bigger voices ain't gonna really say it, I'm gonna say it. You know what I'm saying? But I got a lot of respect. You hear me? A lot of respect for what Angry Fan is throwing out there. I got a tremendous amount of respect for what Jay Black is throwing out there. And I got to give a special salute. And I got a lot of respect for what my main man, Chris Unbiased, is saying out there. You know what I'm saying? When you're a blogger, you got to take risks sometimes. Sometimes you got to say things that most people may not say in the leadership, and they in the leadership position. So, you know, you may not always agree with Caps. You may not always agree with Jay Black. You may not always agree with Chris, but they got a job to do, and they doing it better than most people is doing it. So you got to salute them, you know, and their voice is relevant, plain and simple. Their voice is relevant. So salute to you guys. I got a lot of respect for you guys. I'm here doing my thing, and I respect every single subscriber that's rolling with me, because I'm trying to do something in a different lane where I speak what, you know, what we need. You know what I'm saying? And it is what it is. So holla back at me, Mad Dog Killer Son.